So for today's STAR skills, we're going to concentrate on slope. Now on this first page in the worksheets, we're trying to find slope from a pair of points. And when you're doing this, we're going to use y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And all that means is we're going to take the second y and we're going to subtract the first y from it. And we're going to take the second x and we're going to subtract the first x from it. So, for example, on this first one, remember that in a point pair, the first number is x and the second number is y. So if I want the second y, that's 5, minus the first y, which is negative 5, over the second x, which is negative 4, minus the first x, which is 5. If we subtract a negative, that becomes addition. 5 plus 5 is 10, and negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9. So that means that our slope is negative 10 over 9. And you can do the rest of these problems the same way. So if we look at number 2, I want my second y, which is 1, and I want to subtract my first y, which is negative 3. That's going to be over my second x, which is 3, minus my first x, which is 0. Again, if I subtract a negative, it becomes addition. One plus 3 is 4. 3 minus 0 is 3. So my slope is 4/3. So you can continue working through this page using these same methods. On number 3, we can see that our slope is negative 1. On number 4, we can see that our slope is negative 7/2. On number 5, we can see that our slope is negative 1/2. Number 6, we can see that our slope is 5/2. For number 7, we can see that our answer is 3/5. For number 8, we see that our slope is negative 10 over 9. For number 9, our slope is negative 1 over 10. And finally, on number 10, our slope is negative 3 over 2. On the next sheet, we want to find the slope of each line using the graph. And we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to pick 2 points, and we're going to take the second y and subtract the first y from it. Then we're going to take the second x and subtract the first x from it, and then we'll be able to write the slope. So for example, on number 1, here we have the point negative 5, negative 1. And here we have the point 5, 1. So I would take 1 minus -1 and put that over 5 minus -5. This becomes 1 plus 1, and this becomes 5 plus 5, which gives us a slope of 2 over 10. 2 can be divided by 2 once. 10 can be divided by 2 5 times. So my slope is 1/5. You can continue working on this sheet using this same method. Here we can see that for number 2, I used the points -4, 5, and 5, -5, and I found a slope of -10 over 9. For number 3, I used the beginning point -5, 3, and the end point 5, 5, and I found a slope of 1 over 5. And for number 4, I used the beginning point -5, -2, and the end point 5, 2, and I found a slope of 2 over 5. For number 5, I used the beginning point -3, 5, and the end point 0, -5, and I found a slope of -10 over 3. For number 6, I used the beginning point -4, -5, and the end point 1, 5, and I found a slope of 2. For number 7, I used the beginning point -5, -4, and the end point 5, -3, and I found the slope 1 over 10. And finally, number 8, I used the beginning point -4, -5, and the end point -2, 5, and I found a slope of 5. On the third page, we're going to find the slope and y-intercept using the slope-intercept form of this equation. So, a slope-intercept form looks like y equals mx plus b. And m is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. So as we go through, the number and sign in front of the x will always be your slope. So here I have a slope of -4. The number that's by itself will be my y-intercept, in this case 4. So for number 2, my slope is in front of my x, so that's 1/3, and my y-intercept is by itself, -4. Again, my slope is in front of my x, so -3/4, and my y-intercept is by itself, +4. My slope is in front of my x, -5/2, and my y-intercept is by itself, -1. Number 5, my slope is in front of my x, -5, and my y-intercept is by itself, -3. Number 6, my slope is in front of my x, -8/3, and my y-intercept is by itself, 4. Number 7, my slope is in front of the x, so negative 7/5. My y-intercept is by itself, negative 3. Number 8, my slope is in front of the x, negative 4/9. My y-intercept is by itself, negative 3. Number 9, my slope is in front of the x, 5/2. And my y-intercept is by itself, negative 4. Number 10, my slope is by itself. If you don't see a number in front of the variable, it is understood to be 1. So my slope is negative 1, and my y-intercept is by itself, positive 2. And on page 4, we are finding the slope and the y-intercept, but this time we are using standard form. Standard form looks like ax plus by equals c. Now, if I were to change this from standard form into slope-intercept form, the first thing we would do is subtract this ax from both sides. And that would give us by equals negative ax plus c. And now if I wanted the y by itself, I would divide both sides by b. So I would end up with y equals negative a divided by b and c divided by b. So now if you notice, my slope would be right here in front of the x, and my y-intercept would be right here by itself. So as we work through these, your slope will always be negative a over b. And your y-intercept will always be c over b. So on number 1, my slope is going to be negative 5 because a is in front of my x, and that would be 5, over b, which is in front of the y, and that would be 2. So my slope would be negative 5/2. My y-intercept is going to take c, which is what it equals, so negative 8 over b, which is 2. And if we wanted to simplify that, 2 goes into 8 4 times, 2 goes into 2 once. So this would really be negative 4. And we'll do this method the rest of the way. So on number 2, my slope is negative a, which is 1, over b, which is 3. So my slope is negative 1/3. My y-intercept would be c, which is 3, over b, which is also 3, and anything divided by itself is 1. So my y-intercept would be 1. For number 3, my slope is going to be negative a, so negative 3 over b, which is 2. So my slope is negative 3 halves. My y-intercept would be c, which is 12, over b, which is 2. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. So my y-intercept is 6. For number 4, my slope is negative a, which is 5, over b, which is 6. So my slope is negative 5 over 6. And my y-intercept is c, which is negative 12, over b, which is 6. And negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. For number 5, my slope is negative a, which is negative 1, over b, which is 3. Negative 1 is positive 1. So my slope is 1/3. My y-intercept is c, which is 6, over b, which is 3, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Number 6, my slope is negative a over b. Minus a negative is positive. So my slope is 4/3. And my y-intercept is c, which is negative 6, divided by b, which is 3. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. Number 7, slope is negative a over b. So my slope is negative 2 over 9. And my y-intercept is c over b, and 18 divided by 9 is 2. Number 8, my slope is negative a over b. Negative is positive. So my slope is 2/5. My y-intercept is c over b. 10 divided by 5 is 2, so my y-intercept is 2. And number 9, my slope is negative a over b. Negative 1 divided by 1 is negative 1. And my y-intercept is c divided by b, and 8 divided by 1 is 8. So my y-intercept is 8. And finally, number 10, my slope is negative a divided by b. So my slope is negative 2/3. My y-intercept is c divided by b, And negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. So my y-intercept is negative 3. So hopefully these worksheets have given you a better idea of, first, how to use 2 points to find the slope, subtract the second y minus the first y, and put that over the second x minus the first x. And that gives you your slope. Also, you should feel better about how to find the slope using a graph. Pick 2 points on the line, take the second y and subtract the first y, and put that over the second x minus the first x, and that will give you your slope. Next, we used slope-intercept form of an equation to find the slope and the y-intercept. Your slope will always be the number and sign in front of the x, and your y-intercept will always be the number and sign that is by itself. And finally, we found the slope and the y-intercept using the standard form equation. Standard form equation is ax plus by equals c, and we found that the slope is negative a over b, and the y-intercept is c over b. So take the number that is with x, make it negative, and divide it by the number that's with y. That will give you your slope. Take the number that is by itself and divide it by the number that is in front of y. That is c divided by b, and that will give you your y-intercept. If you have any questions about how to find slope in any of these situations, please make sure you ask for help so that I can get that clarified before you need to be able to use it on the STAR test and in our units on functions.